All right, just about time for tonight's Grand National Main Event. Before we get set for that, let's go and check out what happened right here 1 year ago.
Last year's race, it was one of them days you wish you could have more often race. Fairy tale, really.
Last year, you know, Brian definitely had the race in control, but I had a shot.
The most intense part of the race is definitely the beginning. Just them first 5-6 laps where it's like kind of pure panic because you're so close to the lead. And you're trying to figure out that little bit more, where you can go, where you can make it up, and you're trying to ride hard. Asked Kenny Coolbeth in the main, one of the best clay half-mile riders in the universe ever. That was like a check off my bucket list, passing him on a clay half-mile.
The race was going really good for us. You know, we were running about 4th or 5th, I believe. Brian was a little bit in the lead, and we started running him down, and I think we just started clicking off, you know, half a second, 3/4 of a lap a second quicker, and we got to him.
You know, you can hear people on the track, and sometimes you're psych yourself out and you hear something and there's really nobody there. And I look back and at one point and Cena was close, but with this track riding so hard and, you know, up high, it's going to make it really tough to pass.
It gets really intense because you're moving forward and you're fast and you're getting faster and faster, and you can just see yourself, you know, shrinking his lead down, and you get right to his rear wheel, and it's like, cool, okay, you know, I have a spot that I feel like I could pass him at.
Wouldn't say I was worried because I know what it was going to take to pass me, and I think I still had a little maybe in the tank.
I was just gunning for the win. And then as soon as we came around and that thing just died, it was just like a gutless feeling inside. I guess it was pretty bitter because I broke on the last lap leading X Games last year, handing Brian the win. You know, Charlotte, it didn't get handed to Brian because he earned it, there's no doubt, but it just was real bitter, like, golly, every time I'm around this guy, I break, you know?
I didn't know he broke until after the checkered flag. I think I would have been all right had he not broke. I think I had him covered that day.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, she did a great job singing our national anthem earlier for you. She's going to get us ready to go for our GNC1 main. Give your hands together for Veda Harrison with God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains through the prairies to the oceans wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
All right, it is now time for our starting lineup, ladies and gentlemen, for the 18 riders in tonight's Harley-Davidson GNC1 presented by Vance & Hines main event. We'll start the tail end of the field. Ladies and gentlemen, from Willow Street, Pennsylvania, the Richie Morris Racing Kawasaki Ninja, number 65, Corey Texter. Starting in the 17th starting spot, the Scott Power Sports McGrain Racing Kawasaki out of Blaine, Minnesota. Number 29, Jake Mataya. Starting in the 16th starting spot, the Bonneville Performance Castrol Triumph entry from Glenmore, Pennsylvania. Number 55, Jake Shoemaker. Starting 15th, the Factory Harley-Davidson Motor Company XG750. The rider from Warren, Oregon. He's the leading contender in the Saddleman Rookie of the Year. Number 67, Dashin Davis Fisher. Starting 14th on the Ducati 1100cc motorcycle, it's the Lloyd Brothers Motorsports Dillard Family Racing entry. The rider from Pensacola, Florida, number 10, Johnny Lewis. Starting 13th, first pick on row number 3, it's the Vanderkoy Racing Don's Kawasaki Floyd Tapp Kawasaki from Mount Gilead, Ohio, number 20, Jared Vanderkoy. Now we start with the riders on row number 2. This rider from Brisbane, California, it's the Myers Motorsports Babe to May Memphis Shades bike. Tonight he's riding the Kawasaki Ninja, number 66, Dominic Colindres. Starting 11th from Center Hill, Florida, the Zanatti Racing Harley-Davidson Motor Company entry. Last year he finished on the podium. Starting 11th, ladies and gentlemen, number 2, Kenny Coolbeth Jr. Starting 10th from Aurora, Indiana, the Sammy O Racing Mike Butler Racing Kawasaki, number 26X, Brandon Wilhelm. Starting 9th on the Weerbach Racing Unlimited Kawasaki from Salinas, California, number 14, Briar Bauman. Starting in the 8th starting spot, making the move over to the BriggsAuto.com, Martin Trucking Evel Knievel Museum entry, riding the Harley-Davidson 750 from Alton, Illinois, number 23, Jeffrey Carper. First pick on the second row from Bucyrus, Ohio, it's the Smith Racing J&F Construction Kawasaki, number 24F, J.R. Addison. Last pick on the front row from Coatesville, Pennsylvania, Zanatti Racing Classic Harley-Davidson entry, number 5, Jersey, Jake Johnson. Fifth pick on the front row is the Weeblers Harley-Davidson 427 Racing Harley from Graham, Washington, number 67, Slammin' Sammy Halbert. Starting 4th, the Factory Harley-Davidson Motor Company entry from Eatonville, Washington. Former Grand National Champion, rider number 6, the Bullet, Brad Baker. Starting 3rd from Swartz Creek, Michigan, the Crosley Brands TNT Construction Howerton Motorsports Kawasaki. Our current points leader, last year's winner right here in Charlotte, number 42, it is Brian Smith. Starting 2nd, the Kennedy Racing Armbruster Racing Harley-Davidson, the rider from Oxford, Pennsylvania, the most recent winner on the Grand National Tour, number 44, Brandon Robinson. And starting on the pole, first pick on the front row, 3-time Grand National Champion, including the last 2 in a row, the Las Vegas Harley Rogers Racing entry from Clio, Michigan, rider number 1, the Jammer, Jared Mees. Ladies and gentlemen, that is your starting lineup for tonight's Harley-Davidson GNC1 presented by Vance & Hines main event. Chris Carr, you ready to go, sir?
I'm very ready to go on this one. I think we've been looking forward to this all night long. The last 5 weeks we've been sitting here waiting to get this race going and get a championship chase underway again.
How are they going to top that GNC2 main event?
Well, if there's anybody in the country that's capable of doing that, it's our best GNC1 riders. We have the top 5 in points on the front row. Baker, I think, might be 6th or 7th there in points. The best of the best are toward the front. Expecting some fireworks to go off here for 25 laps.
Expecting some fireworks for sure. Smith is our points leader, 144 points. Smith, number 42. Meese is on the pole. He's rider number 1. He's 13 points behind the leader. I think to keep his championships alive, Meese has to get up there and finish in front of the 42 for 5 weeks in a row, for 5 races 6 races in a row because the last 2 races are miles. Mees needs to pick up some points.
He certainly does, and recent history kind of goes against that. It's not really in Mees' favor with Smith leading nearly wire to wire here a year ago, getting 2 wins on the red clay. This is the only red clay track. Brian Smith wants to halt the momentum of the number 1. He's going to have a repeat performance of what he did here a year ago, and he's certainly capable. That's why we race. We get to find out, and I'm sure Jared Mees wants to kind of turn the tables a little bit. He had a good run in Lima, gained points on the 42. He needs to keep that momentum going as we head into some more of these half miles with the Peoria TT coming up as well. So it's one halting the other's momentum, and the other one trying to upset the rhythm. That's what's going to take to win the championship this year.
And then you also have the 44, Brandon Robinson. He could be the spoiler. He won at Lima. He picked up max points he could down there.
Any one of those riders can be a spoiler on that front row, and you can go back into the second row early on. If somebody with a good start can get toward the front, it should be really interesting to see who can make their improvements from the heat race performances and inject themselves into the front for the win.
We've raced here in Charlotte some 4 times. The first was back in 2000. It was Mike Hacker. 2001, Will Davis. 2002, Kevin Barnes. Last year, Brian Smith. Who is going to add their name to the list? We've got 25 laps, and 1 rider only will win tonight's Grand National main event.
As it should be.
Absolutely. So they're all staging them up right now. The first 6 bikes are pulling up to the line. Looks like they kind of went from inside to the outside.
Not surprised there. Track position's important. You're up on the inside and you get a good run. You can control the corner. Be interesting to see if anybody moves, how quickly somebody moves to the very top of the racetrack. We saw that with mixed results in the GNC2 class, but these bigger, faster, heavier motorcycles will be able to carry that momentum through certain parts of the corner much easier than the 450 class. Be interesting to see who tests the top of the racetrack the quickest.
The riders look like they're staged up. The first 2 rows are already staged. The third row hasn't quite all pulled up to the line. Texter pulls up. There is the 67 of Fisher. He goes near the outside. Then the 55 of Shoemaker. Then it should be the 29 of Mattia and the 65 of Corey Texter. He's going to be right in the middle. Johnny Lewis takes the inside of row number 3. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a moment we've been waiting for since we got here. 25 laps, Grand National main event style here in Charlotte.
Without a red flag, within about 7 minutes, we're going to find out who our winner is.
22nd lap times earlier this afternoon. Here we go. Trophy girls put the 10-second board up. And they are already moving off the racetrack. The first light is on. It is red. There are 2 yellow lights, and then we turn it green, and we go racing here in Charlotte. It's time for the Grand National main event. Watch for that green light, and they're off. From the inside, it's Mees. From the very outside, looks like Johnson.
Johnson goes to the top pretty quickly, carries that momentum around the 69 of Halbert on the outside, and leads him down the backstretch, side by side into 3.
Jake Johnson out front. Sammy Halbert looks up the inside. Mees right there at 3rd. Johnson slips a little bit wide. Now he's going to go from 1st to about 5th in a hurry. Mees now in the 2 spot. 3rd is Baker. 4th is Briar Bauman on the 14 bike.
We saw Smith back there in the 6th position going off into turn 1 at the end of lap 1. But 69, Sammy Halbert on the new ride, the new Weebler's Harley-Davidson entry, followed closely by the number 1 of Mees.
Baker already throwing sparks from that rear brake. No harm, no foul. That's what normally happens. He sits in the 3rd spot. Brandon Robinson on the prowl in 4th. Coolbeth all the way up to 5th from the 11th starting spot. Here comes the king of cool.
Well, Kenny Coolbeth loves a 25-lap main event. He usually just tries to kind of get himself through the heat races. But when it's on the line, he usually finds his way to the front on the half mile.
Mees looking up the inside of Sammy Halbert. Sammy kind of shuts the door. So it's the 69 of Halbert, 1 of Mees, 6 of Baker, Robinson 44, and 2 of Coolbeth. The brake rotors already glowing red on the number 6 bike.
Yeah, that's a lot of rear brake Brad Baker's using this early in the race. Be interesting to see if there's any, how consistent that is later in races. Mees turns up the inside of the 69, not quite able to make the move coming off of turn 4.
So Halbert holds on to the lead. Mees is right there in the 2 spot. Baker again throwing the sparks big time on that number 6 Harley. Here comes the 44 Robinson right there in 5th spot. Kenny Coolbeth trying to get up there. He finished on the podium here last year with a 2nd place finish.
So far, a somewhat uneventful freight train for the top 6-7 riders. Smith finds himself at the tail end of it in 7th, trying to stay in touch as we see excessive amounts of sparks coming from the factory Harley in third.
And Jake Johnson, who had the early lead, who blew the first or the turn 3 and 4 corners, back in 6th. Can he work his way back up to the lead?
Certainly can, but it's going to take some patience. But you can't afford to be wait too long to move forward.
I didn't think flat trackers had patience, Chris.
Well, on a 20-second lap time racetrack, you're going to have to test your own patience. But these guys are going to, if they want a chance to win, they're going to have to head to the front in a hurry.
Slammin' Sammy Halbert continues to lead. Number 69 on the Weeblers, Harley 427 Racing, Lucas Oil entry, making his first start, or his first Grand National on the new Harley-Davidson after he parted ways with the BriggsAuto.com team. And he continues to lead. Meese is right there. Baker, I don't think there's any way those brakes will last 25 laps.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with there, but it's certainly throwing a lot of sparks. Even Kenny Coolbeth has been known to ride a lot of rear brake, not glowing so far, but lots of sparks coming from the number 6 as Jared Mees wants to get in front of the 69 and use him as an additional pick. Putting even 4 more points between himself and Brian Smith, who's now moved up into the 6th spot ahead of Jake Johnson.
And the 44 of Robinson made the pass and takes over that 3rd spot down there in turns 1 and 2. He gets in front of Brad Baker. Now he'll see if he can set his sights on the leader. Sparks still flying off the back of the number 6. I don't even know if he has any brakes left right now because it's not even glowing as red as it was earlier, so the brakes may be gone.
Well, he certainly dropped back real quickly as the 44 Robinson, once he dispatched the number 6, has marched down. Caught our leaders.
Oh.
Number 1, Jared Mees takes the lead. Good run off of turn 4, sticks it to the front.
Meese out front now. Sammy Halbert tries to repay the favor down the back straightaway. We'll have a shutoff contest in turn 3. Sammy goes back up to the lead. The Slammer and the Jammer going at it. Here comes B-Rob, number 44.
Wow, Mees turns back underneath, runs him up to the wall. Halbert has to shut off. Robinson coming up the inside.
Brandon Robinson now has caught up to the leaders as the leaders were duking it out for the lead. That's allowed the 44 to get right there on the back tire of the 69. So it's Meese now your leader. Sammy Halbert in second. Robinson drops to the bottom of the racetrack. He's trying the quicker line, the lower, faster line away around the racetrack.
Well, it looks like the fast line is kind of narrowed up into about a 3 or 4 foot area, and whoever gets to it first is the one that controls the corner. Meese able to get by. Halbert not really separating very much, but that last lap lap time's 1996 for our leader. One of his very consistent lap times at the front is Mees at the halfway point. He gets our lucky 13 McElroy Packaging Award.
Halbert slips the groove, goes up to the air fence. His night might be done. We lost him. Robinson now takes over the 2 spot. Halbert off of the pace. He just lost a podium finish for sure. It's Meese out front. Meese picks up your McElroy Packaging Lucky 13 Lap Award for leading lap number 13 here at Charlotte.
So here we have Brandon Robinson, the 44, with great momentum, winning in Lima. Can he run down the defending Grand National champion, the number 1 of Jared Mees, with about 11 laps to go here? He's on a hot streak. Let's see if he can do it again.
Meese out front, number 1. Robinson in second. Now Coolbeth has gotten by Baker for the 3rd spot, so Baker's falling. Brakes have to be a factor. Johnson back in 5th. Brian Smith, our points leader, back in the 6th spot. Johnny Lewis, who started way back there on the 3rd row, has put that Ducati up to 7th. Calendris, Carver, and Brandon Wilhelm round out your top 10.
Out front, that time by, it seems like Jared Mees able to run some consistent laps. Robinson not really able to make a dent in our defending champion's lead.
I don't know what happened when Sammy Halbert let go, the bike let go, but that seemed like when the gap happened between Meese and Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, that was an opportunity. They were all kind of pretty much there together. Brandon may have had to check up just a little bit as the 69 dropped out. But that time by, we saw the champion there kind of stick his foot into the dirt a little bit going off into turn 3.
And I thought I saw a little bit of a backfire coming out of the tailpipe of the back of the number 1 bike. Can Robinson see that, and can he put his head down and catch up to the leader? We're running out of laps, Chris.
Well, you know, Brandon Robinson just last time by was the only rider in the 19-second bracket. He kind of ate into that lead a little bit with coming up on almost 6 to go here. He's going to have to continue to have those kinds of laps to catch our leader.
It's Jared Meese out front. Rider number 1, 44 Robinson second, Coolbeth 3rd, Brad Baker still in the 4th spot, Johnny Lewis in 6th behind Jake Johnson. Brian Smith has dropped to 8th right now as Dominic Lenders has gone by him.
So one of the riders there coming up short on the back straightaway, blowing smoke. Not sure who that was.
possibly the 29 of Mattia. I lost it for a second. Should be coming up to 5 laps to go. 5 more laps around the dirt track at Charlotte. Here comes the 44. Robinson putting on a charge. Mees has already won twice. Robinson won the last race.
Well, Mees, while he's moving forward with the lead, we see our championship leader. We could have a change in points before the end of the night. Brian Smith drops down to 9th the last time by. Number 1's going forward, the 42's going backwards. 4
laps to go. They're actually starting to catch some lap traffic too. That could become a factor. It is Mees and Robinson 1 and 2 with less than 4 laps, 3.5 laps to go now as they work their way down the back straight. They're going to catch these slower riders, Chris Carr. That is definitely going to be a factor.
It's definitely going to be a factor. If we can get a blue flag out on them and they can get out of the way in a good fashion, we can keep this race going. But Jared Mees is going to have to contend. Bauman, he moves up to the outside. Other 3 riders, we'll see if they return the favor as well as Jared Mees gets by Bauman. Comes up to the rear of the 55 and the 29. 29 lets him go by. 55 takes full advantage of the other riders with 2 to go. Jared Mees runs it off into turn 1. Brandon Robinson going around the outside, trying to use the 55 to get to the front. You got a lap and a half left with Davis Fisher now in the way of the number 1.
So a lap and a quarter to go. Here comes your leader. White flag is out for the number 1 of Mees. Now Robinson has got through the traffic. 1 lap to go. Can Robinson make the pass? He's catching up to Mees right now in turns 1 and 2. This is the final lap of the Charlotte half mile. It's Mees and Robinson, the 1 and the 44. The 44 puts his head down. Here they come to the final corner. It is Mees. Robinson sneaks a peek to the bottom of the racetrack. Here they come off of turn number 4 all the way to the checkered flag. It's going to be the double checkered flag. Mees takes it by about 1 bike length. Several lap riders now. Here comes 3rd, just now coming off the corner and across the finish line. Look how excited Jared Mees is. Wait until he figures out where the 42 ended up.
Yeah, Brian Smith with drop a couple more positions there late in that race. I have a feeling the number 1 might have seen where the 42 was as our timing and scoring tries to come up to date. Brian Smith finishing in 11th, scoring 9 points. With Jared Mees most likely leading the most laps and winning, we're going to have a new point leader at the end of the night, ladies and gentlemen.
So the jammer, Jared Mees, takes the victory here in Charlotte.
And riding on the back...
Sorry.
It's main event time here at DuQuoin, Illinois, and they're underway. Blasting into turn 1, Tommy Newman down
So that's Cole Davis, the late Will Davis' son, getting the victory lap right there. Will Davis did pick up the win here back in 2001. Unfortunately left us way too soon, so Cole Davis getting the victory lap. Jared Mees actually used to run the number 21, so a lot of history right there, and that's really cool.
Yeah, it's great to see Cole Davis has grown up to be a fine young man, very much like his father, a shining example of people. We lost certainly Will Davis way too soon. Glad to see Jared Mees honoring his tradition here in his home state of North Carolina tonight. Fantastic win for the Rogers Lake Racing Team. Jared Mees doing what he needs to do, getting a point lead back in 1 event. That bodes well for his championship hopes for the remainder of the season.
Very impressive. Mees your winner by 0.16 seconds over Brandon Robinson. Kenny Coolbeth, a solid podium. Again, back-to-back podiums for Coolbeth. Jake Johnson, who led early, gets back, regains everything, gets back up to 4th. Brad Baker 5th. There's a burnout right there by the jammer, Jared Mees, right there on the front straightaway. Between the straightaway and the fans, reaching up, giving high fives. Dominic Clendres borrows a motorcycle, finishes 6th. Jeffrey Carver 7th. Johnny Lewis 8th. Corey Texter from the 18th starting spot all the way up to 9th. What a ride by him on his brand new Richie Morris racing ride. And Brandon Wilhelm finishes in the top 10. Man, what a race we had here at Charlotte.
Yeah, number 1 went forward. The 42 went backwards. I don't think we would have expected to see that here tonight based on last year's results. But what a difference a year makes here in Charlotte.
Well, it's hard to win races. It's hard to win them back-to-back, and Mees was actually tracking down Brian Smith last year when the bike let go. There's Robinson giving a congratulatory handshake right there to Mees. Coolbeth is right there too. So we're trying to get these guys up there on that victory podium and give it to Heather one more time to wrap things up from Charlotte. We appreciate everybody coming out. for our first ever AFT Grand National. And we're getting the top 3 up there on the podium. Man, that was one heck of a race. I thought the GNC2 race was good, but the GNC1 was just as good.
Fantastic event. Maybe not quite as much passing back and forth as we saw in the 450 class, but man, we saw Jared Mees at his absolute best tonight, and that's what he needed in order to regain the point lead.
All right, so get those riders up there on the podium. We'll talk to them, and then we'll close things up here from Charlotte. Maybe Heather can wrangle up these riders, see if she can get them up there on the podium.
See Kenny Coolbeth Jr. and Jared Mees celebrating.
Sammy Halbert was the leader of the first 9 laps. Jared Mees took over from there, so Mees leads 16 laps. Sammy Halbert leads 9 laps and picks up the victory here in Charlotte. We're going to bring up the top 3 up onto that victory podium just as soon as we can. They're down there celebrating just off the podium. They're headed up there now. So let's go down trackside for Heather with our winning interviews here at Charlotte.
All right, we're going to catch up here with Jared Mees, taking the win here at Charlotte. Last year you had some bad luck. You were able to make it happen tonight. You also did a special little victory lap there. Talk about that out on the racetrack.
Yeah, this year it's been nothing but Redemption X Games and now Charlotte, so it's been really good. We got a decent start, and then Halbert kind of rolled around the outside, and I was on him for a bit, and I couldn't seem to get by because the line I wanted to run was the line he was running, so I kind of made a kind of aggressive pass, but kind of took his line away. He was burning it in and really blowing the middle and taking a long time to gather the middle up, so I kind of just stuck it in there and took the line away, and didn't look back until we started running into the lappers, and I'm like, golly, get that blue flag out. They wait till the last minute to get that blue flag, but all in all, it paid off awesome. Right before the main event, we did a last-ditch effort with a call. Mr. Tolbert reading the racetrack perfectly once again, and it was great. Everybody's hero here in the stands, Will Davis. He passed away back in 2001, and he was my biggest hero, and that was his son Cole. He's always been a great friend of our whole team. So Will Davis won this race back in, I believe, 2001. So to give Cole, his son, a victory lap this many years later after he did it with Will, it really topped off the night.
Very good. You were also the fastest qualifier today, so congratulations on that. And then leading into these other races, I believe you might have taken the points lead at this point, so I bet that's what you were looking to do.
Honestly, I didn't expect to take the points lead at Charlotte. We had a big mishap here at Sacramento, and that really set us back. But we're just out here trying to do the best we can, and these are our kind of racetracks, so we're going to try to capitalize. The miles is definitely Brian's cup of tea, that's no doubt. So we're going to take full advantage of these half miles and these TTs coming up and just do the best we can. I'm having a lot of fun. Hats off my entire team, Rogers Racing, SDI Installation, Las Vegas Harley-Davidson, NGK Sparkplug, Saddleman, Bell Ray, Millennium Technologies, Monster, Flat Track Live, my beautiful wife, Nicole, Twin Power, National Cycle, TCX Boots, D&D Exhaust, Cometic Gasket, Millennium Technologies, Bill Helmets, all the AMA Pure Racing for coming to Charlotte. My mechanic, Kenny Tolbert, man, I just can't say enough for you and Jerry and Craig. And, it's these wins, they just get so emotional, And Tommy Duna Fine Jewelers, Rod Lake, Crankworks, KW Racewear, TCX Boots. Just a huge effort goes out. My whole family was here tonight. My uncle, my stepdad, my dad, my mom, everybody. It was a grandmother from Florida to get her up here to win. It was awesome to do it in front of this crowd, for sure.
I'm sure they're all very proud of you, and congratulations on your 3rd win of the season.
Thank you.
All right, we're now going to catch up with our 2nd place finisher. 0.16 seconds is what Jared beat you by. Did you have anything left for him?
Not really, man. I was just pushing as hard as I could there, and I would gain a little bit, lose a little bit, and Jared was running a really fast, consistent line, and I just kept making a little mistake here, and then I gained on him, and then those lappers really helped me quite a bit there at the end. I was hoping maybe it'd make it a little bit more interesting, but regardless, awesome effort. To come out with a second after winning Lima was great. A great race by Jared. He rode flawless, so there's not much else I could do there. Huge thanks to the Kennedy Racing team, my mechanic, Brent Armbruster, gave me a solid motorcycle once again, just perfect as always. Big thanks to J&H Repair, the doctor, Sal, James, everyone for coming out, my grandfather. It's just huge to have everyone behind me. And also got to thank Axo, Rai, K&N, Motion Pro, Saddleman, ATI Physical Therapy, Team 95. Shout out to the boys in Owensboro. And say hi to my nanny, Meep, another pair of shoes. And, it's just big thanks to everyone behind me. Appreciate it.
Well, congratulations, and hopefully this momentum will carry on to some more wins this season.
Yeah, that's the plan. We'll just keep it going.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, and last but certainly not least, up here on the podium is Kenny Coolbeth. You've had a couple rough races leading into this, but you came all the way from 11th to 3rd tonight. Talk about your run out there.
Yeah, I got a pretty good start on the second row, and kind of put my head down there in the beginning just to keep up with these guys, and I kind of got a wild card there, and when Sammy broke, but hey, racing, and the Zanatti team works hard. They go through those bikes with a fine-tooth comb, and Dave Atherton, Dave Zanatti, the whole Atherton family are just awesome people, and I'm glad they're behind me. My beautiful wife and my son for dealing with my crap. I just want to thank all my sponsors, definitely Zanatti, Harley-Davidson Motor Company, Gator Harley-Davidson, Heritage Harley-Davidson, Arai Helmets, Cometic Gasket, Pruitt Automotives. Thank you guys very much. They do a lot for me. DC, hope you were up for this one, and hope you enjoyed it. There's a handful of people that I'm missing: Spectral Oils, EBC Brakes, Weisco, TCX Boots. My wife's telling me what to say, so it's all good. Everybody that I've missed, sorry, and I couldn't do it without him.
She is your better half, so that's okay for her to help you out. Congratulations on your podium finish again.
Thank you, guys, and thank all your fans for coming out.
All right, we're going to set it back up to the booth to Scotty and Chris.
Thanks a lot, Heather. And picking up the Olean's Fast Lap Award, it is Brad the Bullet Baker with a 1:9.85. I'm assuming that was earlier in the race before his brakes went away. And also tonight, picking up the Motobat Hard Charger Award, it is Corey Texter, who started way back in 18th and finished a solid 9th place. So your point standings are Jared Mees takes over the lead with 155, Brian Smith now in second, 152, and Brandon Robinson moves all the way up to the third spot with 120 points. So that's going to be it from Charlotte, ladies and gentlemen. We hope everybody had a great time. And don't forget, coming up in 10 days from right now, the Rapid City Sturgis Half Mile. Please be careful going home. You don't have to go straight home, but please go home straight. We will see you in 10 days. On behalf of Heather DeBow, the 7-time champ Chris Carr, I'm Scotty Dubler. We'll see you in Rapid City.